Hey guys, long time no see. So if you've been following me, you'd know that recently I went to Thailand during their Songkran holiday, and I got a lot of things I want to share with you about that trip, but that's for a later time. But since then, I've actually been dabbling in some of the more local gay saunas here in Ho Chi Minh City, and that's what I wanted to talk about today. So in this video, I will be sharing with you 4 local gay saunas that you can visit here in Ho Chi Minh City, and yeah, let's just get started. So first of all, just as a general disclaimer, these places are definitely a lot more local than the more popular gay spas around here, such as Nadam Spa and 69 Zone. So I'd say if you're looking for more ethnic diversity, aka Asians that are not just Vietnamese, and or a place that's a bit more established and professional, aka more clean, then you can check out those 2 places. And I actually have a video right here that goes into more details about those 2 places, so you can check that video out first. But if you're looking for a real local experience, then let's find out together. So the first sauna that I visited is called Bai Men Sauna or Bai Spa. So the facilities that this place includes are, there's a massage chair room. The place also includes a sauna room and a steam room, some showers, and a jacuzzi that's kind of lukewarm. There's a total of 2 darkroom areas, but it's not as mazy as the other darkroom areas that you might expect. It's more like just a dark room that has curtains around, and you just kind of have to feel your way around. And there are private rooms on the top floor, 4 of them, and 2 larger private rooms on the bottom floor. As for refreshments, they serve beer, sweet tea, crackers, and fruits, and occasionally soda. There are like 2 canisters of drinks. One of them is beer, and the other one switches from tea to soft drinks. Also, one thing to note about the 4 rooms upstairs, I have to say that those rooms are actually kind of unusable. And it's basically because they're really hot. Like, you basically start sweating right away as soon as you enter that area. And I suspect it's because right next to those 4 private rooms, there's the sauna. And I think the top floor has really poor ventilation. So all the heat that's generated in that sauna kind of creeps into the private room area. So because of that, that place is like super hot. And because of that, when people want to do, more private things, they have to go all the way downstairs into the 2 larger private areas. And those 2 areas are like taken all the time. So yeah, just expect that when you come here. So this sauna, in addition to all the other saunas that I'm going to talk about, it definitely has the vibe of a house that has been refurbished into a sauna. If you're familiar with Vietnamese homes, you would know and realize that the layout is your typical maybe 4 or 5 bedroom local home, and basically all the rooms have just been reconstructed in order to resemble a sauna. So overall, the space is kind of small. Now let's talk about the boys in this sauna. So the several times that I went during the weekend, during the more popular hours, and I have to say that this place is quite diverse, but I think it's more leaning towards the people who are a bit more muscular. So I think like the most common body type you find here is like an everyday office worker, kind of like maybe like my size, but they have like definition in their chest and their shoulders and arm area. So, it looks like that they clearly work out, but that they're just not like on the level of a personal trainer muscle god or something like that. That's the most common body type, but you do find like, your more everyday uncle kind of body type with a beer gut. You also find some twinks in here, and you do find there are some indeed muscle gods in here as well. Overall, quite diverse, but the most common type is what I just described. Other things to note is that I found that this place definitely leans more towards the tops, in my opinion. So if you're a bottom, great news for you. I mean, obviously there are some other bottoms as well, but like in general, during the times I've gone, there was a more higher concentration of tops. Also, another thing to note, I did also realize that most of the people here, they tended to lean more towards 30 plus or older. There are definitely a lot more older folks in this area, which is not a bad thing. It's just, something to note. Another thing to note is that the receptionist kind of has a bitch face. They seem kind of mean. They don't look particularly enthusiastic when you walk in. He is just like stone cold, not super friendly. But other than that, I'd say this place is still a generally good place to hang out if you're looking for some more muscular locals. And the price is definitely cheaper than Adam. It's like 128,000 on the weekends and 100,000 on the weekdays. And also that price is pretty standard across the board. So all the other saunas have the same price. And yeah, that is Bai Men Sauna. So check out that place if you are a bottom. Now the next sauna that I went to is called Dream Sauna. As for your facilities of this place, you have your showers, your sauna, your steam room, your jacuzzi, 2 dark room areas, and a little lobby room with refreshments. And your refreshments, they're like 4 canisters. So you had beer, tea, soft drink, and water. And the snacks that they serve is basically just fruit. Now, just like with Bai Spa, I went during the weekends, so it was very crowded, very busy. Popular hours. And just like I mentioned before, the price is 120,000 for the weekend. Normal price would be 100,000. And I have to say, the first thing that I noticed when I walked into this place is that the staff are very friendly, and the vibe that they create is very How do I explain? So you know how when you visit an old relative that you haven't seen in a long time and they start teasing you, they're like, oh my god, look how cute you've gotten. They start pinching your cheeks, that kind of vibe. So yeah, that's the kind of vibe that the sauna staff have when you walk in, at least for me. They're very friendly, they're very cute, and they're like basically teasing me the entire time I was in there. Probably because they knew I was like a VQ, like a foreign Vietnamese person. But yeah, I just thought that was pretty fun and interesting. And also they're pretty good looking. Another thing to note is that overall the space is quite small. I'd say it's even smaller than Bai Spa. And unfortunately, I do have to mention that when it got super crowded during the weekend, so in the sauna area, across from the sauna area, there's a urinal. So unfortunately, in the entire lower floor where the showers and the jacuzzi and the sauna was, there's this pee smell. And overall, the cleanliness level of this place was not super great. But yeah, because the space is so small, when it gets really busy, it feels very crowded and very hard to traverse through. But it makes the darkroom fun. Now, speaking of the dark room, let's talk about the general boys in this area. I think this place probably has the best diversity amongst all the saunas that I'm going to talk about. There's a very good variety of both young and old people here. And basically during the very popular times when I came here during the weekend, there was like at least one or two people of every body type. There was always at least one or two bears, one or two muscle gods, one or two twinks, one or two otters. There's also a few chunky men and also a few super skinny men. Basically, if there's a specific body type that you like, there will probably be at least one or two people of that body type when you attend this sauna. So yeah, aside from this place being very small, kind of dirty, and kind of crowded, I'd say this place is still worth visiting just because the staff are pretty cute and also the variety of body types that you get here is pretty decent. So yeah, definitely come check this place out if you're looking for a more local experience and you kind of have a very specific body type that you are hoping to find, and probably this place has it. So the next sauna I visited was called Chill Sauna, and actually the only reason why I came to this sauna was because when I was at Madame Spa, one of the locals told me that this sauna had a lot of tops during the afternoons, which is why I went during the afternoon. So unlike the other places, I did not go on a weekend, I went during the afternoon, and unlike the other places, I only visited once, and it was because my first impressions of this place was not very great. The facilities were okay. It had a shower area, a steam room, a sauna room, a small jacuzzi, and the private areas were upstairs. But I will say though, the facilities were just not polished. And what I mean by that is in the sauna room, there was like a broken flooring. So like there was like a little divot that like went down. So, you know, not a great first impression. And also like the showers had like a very strong pee smell in it as well. And also the darkroom areas upstairs were pretty well lit actually. And I suspect it's because this place just uses, you know, a natural lighting. So during the nighttime, it's probably a lot darker, but during the afternoon, it was clear. And again, just like the other places, this is basically a house that's been refurbished into a sauna. And the main reason why I didn't like this place though was because of one particular individual who just kept following me around the entire time. So yeah, because of that experience, I actually had to leave the sauna early, and it kind of meddled with my perception of this place a little bit. So yeah, overall not the best first impression. Will I go here again? I might, because the only reason why I came here, like I said, was because there's supposed to be a lot of hot tops that came here, but I didn't get to see any. So I might come here again. But yeah, overall, probably my least favorite place out of all these places. But yeah, you know, maybe you would be luckier than I would. And you know, if the other saunas are too far away from you or something, and maybe your Airbnb is like right next to this place, maybe give it a shot. I will say though, one of the receptionists, super fit, super cute. Maybe just go here just to see him. All right, so the last place that I visited was Galaxy Sauna. And I have to say that this place, the darkroom areas in this place is definitely the most comfortable out of all the places that I've been to. So like it was spacious for one, and also well air conditioned. But not just that, they had like glow in the dark tape that they kind of lined the floors with, so it made it very easy to navigate. But not only that, but the darkroom areas were like lined with couches, so like, you know, people can lounge around in, they can sit in. It was just overall comfy, a lot more comfier than other darkroom areas that I've been to. This place had your typical facilities, so it had a sauna room, a steam room, a jacuzzi, some showers, and they also had some massage chairs. And there was even like a smoking room that was right next to the lockers, which personally I do not like, but maybe you like to smoke. So one thing to note though is because of the layout of this place, the staircase is like a spiral, and because the smoking area is like in the lockers, which is like on the second floor, and everything else is like on the floors above. I don't know, I'm not an expert on this kind of thing, but maybe if there's like a lot of smoke, the smoke can travel up, and like, you know, maybe you can get secondhand smoke if you're like on the third floor. So keep that in mind. Overall cleanliness was super good, and I actually specifically liked the steam room because, I don't know, it had like a citrusy smell to it, but I have to note that it was quite hot, like almost like a little too hot, like to the point where like I couldn't really breathe through my nose because it kind of hurt a little bit. Not hurt, but it was like a little bit uncomfortable, so I had to breathe through my mouth. But it had a very nice citrusy smell, so overall cleanliness was pretty good, not bad at all. And as for refreshments, they served only pop and fruits. There were some water stations that were scattered around though, so plus for that. Now, as for the men in the sauna, I'd have to say that the crowd here was my least favorite in comparison to Dream and By Men Spa. Most of the men here were like older, like 65% of them were like definitely older than me, or at least looked like they were older than me. They had that everyday look. Some of them had that, you know, uncle beer gut belly, mostly just like the everyday look. And that's, you know, fine. But I'd say the thing that really turned me off from the crowd here was that they were just really pushy. They either don't know how to read body language or they just refuse to take no for an answer. And it was, you know, kind of awkward too, because there's just one point where I was sitting in like one of the darkroom areas where some massage chairs were situated, and I was basically standing in the corner and I was just watching, you know, just chilling there. And there's this one instance where there was like a guy who was right in front of me, and he was, you know, kind of muscular, and another older gentleman approached him, and, you know, at first he like nudged him and he moved away, was clearly not interested, and that older gentleman kept escalating his advances. So the first time was a nudge, next time it was like he grabbed his hand and, you know, the guy was trying to shoo him away, and then the next time after that he actually came in and tried to lick his nipple, and then after that the guy just like walked all the way to the other side of the room, so clearly super not interested, and the older guy just followed him to the other side of the room and kept trying to touch him, and it was, you know, he did not know how to read the room. And personally, when I was trying to use the massage chair, there's this one instance where this guy was just staring at me using the massage chair, and I was trying not to make eye contact because this person was someone I was not interested in, but he just kept staring at me. And then after staring at me for like a minute or two, he then approached me and tried to touch my leg, and I was like, oh, thank you very much, but I'm okay, thank you. And then, you know, he was trying to make some jokes and like tried to make it not awkward, which I appreciate. He was trying to say, oh, you know, why are you thanking me? And I was just like, oh, you know, thanks for the contact, but you know, I'm okay. I just want to use the chair. And, you know, he was laughing, but he just kept touching me, and I was like, okay, no. Then, you know, he stopped, and then he backed away, stared at me again, and then approached me again. I had to push him away the second time, and he didn't really learn. He just like walked around the darkroom area around for a little bit, and then he came back and did it again. And then it was only after the third time that, you know, he stopped for good. And it was just this general pushiness that I kept experiencing in the sauna that really just turned me off. Basically, overall, this place had the least amount of tact. Then again, unlike Dream Sauna and Bai Spa, I've only went to this place only once, so maybe my experience was, you know, skewed. Maybe I should try again some other time. But just as a first impression, it was not super great. And basically the body type that was there, most of them were like just the everyday build, which is, you know, fine, of course, but it wasn't really what I was looking for. There were a few twinks though, so if you like twinks. But then again, I did go on a weekday evening, so maybe things would be better on the weekend. I really hope that the general respect and tact would be better on a weekend, but, you know, who knows. But also, just as a side thing, the guy in the front kind of yelled at me because I was trying to take a picture of the storefront for this video, and he was just like, no, you can't do that. And I understand it's, you know, for a privacy thing, but, you know, maybe that also soured my experience walking into the sauna. Because I mean, like, I wasn't like taking a picture of anyone, it was just like the storefront. But, you know, I get it. He doesn't know what I'm taking a picture of, so he thought maybe I was intruding on some privacy of their guests, which I understand. It's totally fine, but, you know. So yeah, those are the 4 saunas that I visited recently after my trip to Thailand. In conclusion, I'd have to say that out of the 4 of them, Dream Sauna and Bai Spa definitely stand out the most. They are definitely more local than the other saunas, but I feel like the crowd there makes it worth it to experience. Also, it's a lot cheaper. So yeah, if you're into Vietnamese guys, into some muscular tops, those 2 places, I had some decent luck. So I'm sure maybe you would as well. So yeah, check out those 2 places. I may revisit Chill Sauna and Galaxy Sauna again at a more popular time and see if things are better. And if that happens, I'll make another video updating you guys on everything. But until then, check out those 2 local saunas if you're looking for a more local experience, or if you're just sick of Nadam and want something else that's closer to the city. So yeah, that's everything I had to say for now. I have so much shit that I want to share with you guys about Thailand. Hopefully you guys stick around for that. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.